Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet a very successful private wealth manager who's been in financial services since 1997. His story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as you just saw, I spent 25 years in TV news, and that takes some stick-to-itiveness. I appreciate people who have long careers, and my next guest knows that very well, Tim McIntosh. He spent more than 25 years in financial services. Thanks for coming on the show.
That's right, Jeff. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And I also want to point out that Tim served our country in the Marine Corps for several years. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Tell us how the Marine Corps shaped your values and shaped how you approach life.
Well, I think looking back, the experience was life-changing, frankly. I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps, but starting out, I guess the biggest lesson that I can remember is the fact that you push yourself to such extremes that you think you can't do something, but it turns out you actually can. And I think that has served me extremely well to accomplish things that, just in my own mind, I probably would have told myself that I couldn't achieve.
Absolutely. And you're with Carpion Private Wealth. Tell us what Carpion stands for. What does Carpion mean?
Oh, Carpion. Carpion actually was a Greek architect, and so an ancient Greek architect. And so the thinking is that as we build and help people to build their financial lives, well, they need a Carpion. And so they need Carpion Private Wealth.
I love it. We're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the services and the approach part, I'm just impressed with, one, all the different things that you do, and a lot of it has to do with educating the client, because not all clients, spend their lives thinking about managing their money. That's what you guys do. So educating the client has to be very important.
Absolutely. Education is absolutely key. But education also followed by a defined, repeatable process. And it's that discipline that we help bring to people's financial lives that I think carries the day.
Absolutely. Let's talk about integrity, because I know that's something that you're passionate about. What does integrity mean to you in doing right by the client?
Well, integrity is everything, and that's another lesson I learned from the Marine Corps, because without integrity, you cannot work in a team environment. Because if people do not trust you, if your team does not trust you, if the members of that team do not trust you, then it's not going to work out very well. But as a team, if you have that level of integrity and trust amongst everyone, that carries through today and what we do with our clients. They trust us, we have integrity, and we do what we say we're going to do, but it's also this defined process that we've developed. And it really, really resonates well with the client.
Yeah, and you were telling me that you guys have a team meeting every single day.
Every 9 o'clock, we have a team meeting. The entire team, we talk about down to nuts and bolts, up to much larger issues. But the message is everybody hears the same message. Everybody is a part of the solution.
Absolutely. We've got some video from our library that we're going to put up on the screen. And I think you'll agree with me that some people spend more time thinking about what they're going to watch on Netflix than they do their own finances. And if a couple is not focused on their future, they could end up being in their mid-60s and not be able to afford to retire. So can you speak to that?
Yes, absolutely. And then the other thing, it's the planning. The sooner you start planning, the better. That's whether you're trying to manage your finances for retirement, whether you are trying to build and sell your company for the future. Planning, that all takes planning. The more time that you have to organize the planning aspects, then it really makes a big difference in the down the road into the future.
What's one of your favorite success stories?
Oh, favorite success story. Okay, well, I had a client that was referred to me, and she's 62 years old, and at the time, and she had been struck by lightning 18 years ago, and she had been bedridden. She had been a very successful business owner, and she had, the company continued while she was bedridden, but she survived. She's up and about now, but she's got some ailments. So when she came to me, it was basically buckets of financial resources in many different places. And what I had to do was try and figure out how to keep her in retirement from not running out of money. And she had been, I guess, losing sleep at night. She was very worried about it. She was blowing through her cash flow. She didn't know what her expense burn rate was. We got a handle on all of that, and I sat down with her after organizing all the different pieces, all the different buckets, created a financial plan, and sitting at her dining room table, I went through the financial plan, and I mathematically showed her how she would not run out of money. Just barely, but we had to keep her spending down. But I showed her how she would not run out of money, and she began crying at the table.
Wow. That's really cool. That has to feel good.
And that's the reason why I just love being in this business. It's all about the client and coming up with solutions.
And we're about to experience the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the country. So you're going to have a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, 60s coming into a lot of money. And with money can sometimes become problems unless they've got a good advisor. How is Carpion set for that?
Yeah, that is definitely one of the largest topics today. Intergenerational wealth transfer is so important, and a lot of people that are going to inherit this wealth do not necessarily have the financial skills for whatever reason. Mom and dad didn't want them to know what their financial situation particularly was. The children may have some sort of an idea. So it's this again. We go back to planning and the estate taxes. But people know if you have more than, say, $7 million in net worth in 2026, that amount of money is now suddenly going to become taxable because of the estate tax changes. And so it's planning. This is all part of the planning process where you need the time, the education, in order to facilitate the planning aspect to be successful and to keep that wealth. You can equate it to winning the lottery.
Sure.
And you hear the stories of somebody wins the lottery. How long does it take before they basically have burned through all of that money? We've seen this before.
Sure. Tim, we're almost out of time, so final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Well, the planning aspect. Just please also don't wait from the intergenerational wealth transfer point of view, probate. Please do not wait until you're in the emergency room to do an estate plan or to do a will. These are extremely important things to do. And again, they need some advice. Please give us a call. We are here to help.
Outstanding. Tim McIntosh with Carpion Private Wealth. We're going to end with the website, which is CarpionPW, standing for privatewealth.com. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.